Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our Killing Eve Season 3, Episode 6 reaction. We are just 2 episodes away from Season 3 ending, and based on tonight's episode, it feels like there are approximately 85 different storylines that are going on that need to be addressed.
Yeah, this season, there's been some really good stuff this season, but man, this season needs a little bit of direction. It's really all over the place.
It's complicated, and maybe some of this stuff will all tie together in a brilliant way, and we'll all just be like, yeah, this is great, we love it in the finale.
I have faith.
I want to have faith. I do. I think there is some good stuff going on, and we'll talk about some of it, including one very, very big surprise to me within the first 5 seconds of the episode. Before we go any further, though, if you guys like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We are going to be here every Sunday with Killing Eve reactions for you guys rest of the season. How is Nico alive? I thought this dude was deader than dead. I didn't even entertain this idea.
No, I thought he was dead, and it made sense to kill him unless there's some big surprise coming up that we need Nico anymore. What is the purpose of Nico anymore? Like, I got it when he got the pitchfork in the throat. I was like, okay, so this is what the purpose is. They're trying to stir up some problems for Villanelle and Eve, and now he's alive. And I'm like, why? What is the purpose? It felt, I've said this before, I'll say it again, it kind of feels like that Walking Dead episode where we saw Glenn under the dumpster and we thought, oh my goodness, he's dead, he's been pulled off, all these walkers are killing him, oh my goodness. And then you bet that I was tuning in the next week to see if he was really dead or not, because how did he survive that? And then it was like this entire episode all about Morgan, and while it was a great episode, it pissed off a lot of people. And then we got into the next episode, Glenn is alive. And that's sort of the exact same playbook that just happened, where we had, you know, this big Nico thing. We're like, oh my goodness, he's dead. Then we had this big Villanelle episode where she was off with her mom. Now Nico's alive. I was just like, why? Why did you guys do this? Everybody hated it on Walking Dead. I'm not a fan of it here either.
I think the only difference for me is just that I just assumed Nico was dead. I didn't even think that he could be alive.
That was the same for me and Glenn.
Yeah, I thought there was a chance Glenn was gonna live, but it was still, I was so sure he was gone. I like you though, I have no idea what Nico's purpose is other than to sort of tell Eve off in the opening minutes, but there you go.
Yeah, I feel like he needs to have some sort of further purpose.
He must, and maybe there's hope for him and Eve. Maybe these crazy kids can find a way to make it all work. I don't think so, but...
No, he's done, and she should really be done too, and I understand she's swimming in guilt. That's gotta be it. I know she's got some love for him, but man, like, the amount of guilt that she's got, that's just like, I'm gonna bring him to justice, and he's just like, I don't even want this anymore. Like, I don't want this justice.
I am hoping so much that we get some sort of opportunity to see a crazy collision course where all of this will make sense, where Dasha can get roped in. Because let's stay with Eve for a minute here, because we do have Eve is tracking down Dasha for a good bit of this episode, and they eventually, out of all the places that you're going to meet somebody as terrifying and dangerous, isn't a bowling alley perfect?
Yeah, and they're both like amazing bowlers. It's so bizarre, such a weird scene, and I still sort of wonder what is going on with Eve. Like, I understand that she's unraveling, but why are you gonna go to Dasha, who you know is a killer, and she even said, I can kill you like this. Yes, she can. So you're gonna just be so brazen, so bold to go in and be like, so I'm just gonna list off everything that I know about you, all of it's evil and bad, and we're just gonna go from there. What do you think about that, Dasha? So it was kind of strange.
Couple of observations here. Number one, a few months ago, I went bowling for the first time in at least over 10 years. I was not anywhere near as good as either Eve or Dasha were in this particular scene. Number two, I do love the cut of Eve throwing the bowling ball down the alley, and right before you get the strike, the camera conveniently changes to another angle. It's like, okay, guys, I think we get what you're saying here. She didn't actually hit it. Number three, I think Eve, there's a part of Eve has a serious death wish.
Absolutely.
Where she is continually putting herself in dangerous positions like this. And beyond all else, though, if you're Dasha, if supposedly you did everything you did with Niko to try to get Villanelle and Eve away from each other, couldn't you just kill Eve in this given moment? Unless maybe she would think that Villanelle would think that Dasha was somehow responsible, but there's a real sort of game of chess that's going on where everyone is trying to make some moves, and I don't know what Eve really accomplishes here other than being like, guess what, Dasha? You're on my radar.
Yeah, and putting that out there and having Dasha know that Eve is onto her just takes away power from Eve. Knowing about Dasha, learning about Dasha, figuring it all out, it's really important that Eve keeps that to herself and doesn't tell Dasha what's going on. There's a part of me that's wondering if she went to Dasha to tell her all this information to unnerve her, to then bring Villanelle kind of out of hiding a little bit so that Eve can get in touch with Villanelle, because she really has no way to do that.
It's possible that if she views Dasha as sort of the only link to Villanelle, then maybe she will go to pretty great lengths in order to find her, and this is sort of the only route that she has.
Yeah.
Villanelle, meanwhile, she has her hands full with a lot of different stuff in this episode. Very little of it good. Starting with Elena.
Yeah, and it was really good to see the follow-up of the big Villanelle episode where she killed her mother, and then we saw her kind of unraveling at the end. I was very curious to see where she was going to land. Was she going to get even more sort of unraveled, or was she going to get really focused? And it seemed like she kind of got really focused, where she was like, okay, I'm going to get this position of keeper. I'm going to be able to tell people what to do. I'm going to move up in the ranks here. And none of that really worked out the way that she wanted. She met with Elena. Elena was like, good for you. You're a keeper now, even though you did nothing that we asked you to do. We asked you to, deal with this protege and teach him how to kill people, and you killed him. No problem. Okay, we asked you to stay put. You went to Russia and killed your mom. Oh, okay, here, now you're the keeper, but you don't have any real responsibilities, and you are still doing the exact same thing.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the episode of The Office where they're aboard the booze cruise and they let Dwight steer the ship, and he's got the big wheel, and he's just down there and it's actually not doing anything.
Yes.
This is all a ceremonial title for Villanelle. Congratulations, you are a keeper, which I'm interpreting this as okay, this will make them happy. Let's just give them the title, make them feel good. She can also, to use another Office analogy, she can now be the assistant regional manager and doesn't actually do anything more than what she already had.
Yeah, exactly. And clearly she's smart enough to know that this title means nothing, that she's not actually getting to direct anybody, she doesn't get to control anybody, she doesn't get to really move up. They're kind of, at first I was wondering if the 12 was just playing her to kind of get something else out of her, but it feels like my interpretation of this is that they know that she's a really good assassin. They want to be able to keep her doing what she's doing. She killed Raymond in the season 2 finale, so killing her is not really an option. So why not try to find a way to make her as happy as possible? Here's lots of money, beautiful clothes, beautiful home. Here's your title. Now we have another person to go and kill. And it was just a second before she was just like, so I have the same job. Okay. So then we saw her go to Constantine and really be like, listen, like I am done with this. They completely screwed me around. I didn't get anything that I wanted, and now I need to get out of this.
This is the thing. Not to take up for the 12, a mysterious organization of assassins here. I do not know their full business hierarchy, but they did sort of give Villanelle a task earlier this season to help train someone, and she murdered them. So I kind of understand why they're not giving her more responsibility, because it is more people she can murder. But ultimately, Villanelle is smart enough to figure out, like you said, that, yeah, I'm not really getting anything else, so Constantine, let's work on this together. Which, by the way, the most gifable moment of the entire episode is Villanelle with the air horn in the middle of the hockey game.
Oh yeah, we're gonna see that.
I also very much love the funniest part of the episode, her not really recognizing who she's supposed to be rooting for. And after Constantine tells her she's rooting opposite his daughter, she then proceeds to not change her ways, but then yell, "Go other team," and really double down on the screw your daughter.
I can really jump into this because I like to root for whoever's winning. I am not a sports person at all. So for me, if I'm forced to watch sports, I'm going to root for whoever's winning, so nobody likes being around me when sports are happening.
You see, I thought about bringing this up in the video, but I was like, no, I'm not going to do that to her. I'm not going to throw her under the bus for her sports allegiances.
Listen,
you backed yourself under the bus.
I am who I am. It is what it is. Don't bring me to sporting events, so there you have it.
Yeah, well, that is all out there in the world now. But yeah, so Villanelle, she wants to be a part of Constantine's just escape route, if you will, from all of this.
Yeah, it looks like he's planning to go to Cuba with his daughter. They're going to finally get out of all of this mess. And it couldn't come at a better time because things are so messy for Constantine right now. I am worried, really worried, that he is not going to make it out of this season alive, and that would really suck because he is one of the most interesting, funny kind of characters, which is a lot to go about with a guy like Constantine. So he's ready to get out. The daughter doesn't want Villanelle there. He's trying to be like, oh, we'll come for you later. And she's just like, no, man, I know you're not going to come for me later. You take me now.
Yeah. He doesn't want to take you now, Villanelle. I'm sorry.
So what I found really interesting was the daughter coming out and straight out saying, Villanelle, don't think about coming with us. You are not coming with us. If she's coming with us, I am not going, sort of thing. So that whole scene then gets really strange where now she's got the daughter in the car and they're doing all these crazy things together, and I don't really know where this is going. I'm assuming Villanelle's trying to find a way to, one, find out where they're going, which she did. They're going to Cuba. Two, maybe make some inroads with the daughter. I didn't think that was really going to work out, but maybe she thought that if she kind of won the daughter over a bit, that the daughter would be like, all right, come along, let's all go to Cuba together.
It really felt a lot like Villanelle was sort of being like, hey, look, I'm the cool aunt. You can do some fun things with me. We'll go on some crazy car joyride. And I think that's Villanelle's sort of negotiation strategy here, because I don't think she really knows how to bond with someone other than, hey, let's go do crazy stuff together. So that's ultimately what she decides on doing. But yeah, we're in a very weird place with Constantine as a character right now, because he is insanely interesting, but it also makes very little sense for him to be involved in a lot of this mess anymore if he has an escape route. So my question then becomes, if he's in season 4 and he's not dead, how do you justify him kind of sticking around and not just hightailing it out of there?
For sure. He's got an escape route. This episode ended with him getting to his daughter's place to get her to go, I'm guessing, and she's running over her stepfather and giggling about it. So now he's also got to deal with that. So I'm guessing something was going on with the stepfather when he showed up and was like, oh, I brought you peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And she's like, don't touch me or I'll scream. She tried to deny it in the car with Villanelle. That something was happening, that she was just like, oh yeah, he's nice enough or whatever. But she ran him over, so I don't think that that's true. Clearly he's not a nice guy if that's where she is. So Constantine has to deal with the daughter. He has to deal with Villanelle being like, I'm coming to Cuba with you whether you like it or not. Then he also has to deal with Carolyn, who's really pissed off about his presence in her life. He's got her daughter is kissing him. Her son is calling him, being like, are you my dad? So that's all really going sideways for Constantine and Carolyn. Then you've got Paul, who we haven't really got to know a lot about, but clearly he's involved in some shady stuff outside of MI6 because he's talking to Constantine. He's basically like, you need to find out who killed this accountant's wife because she knows something, and whoever did that, that means they know something.
Yeah, and that's not gonna go great because I think Constantine kind of knows some information already. And yeah, this is all going to blow up very, very badly.
I really think we're going to lose Constantine. There's too many people that are onto him, pissed off with him. Like, is it going to be someone that has to deal with Paul killing him? Is Villanelle going to be like, okay, you've left me behind one too many times. Now I'm dropping you. Like, who is it? Carolyn is unhappy with everything. And she's not a killer, but I don't know, like, it's all just kind of, this feels like it's building towards a really bad end for Constantine, and we only have 2 episodes left. I'm going to remind everybody that we are on episode 6, and we have had 1 scene with Villanelle and Eve. I'm just putting that out there. Very strange season for that. And that is part of why, for me, this season has felt a little bit disjointed, because there are so many stories going on. A lot of them are connecting, but very thinly connecting. And then we don't have even Villanelle, sort of that back and forth that's really exciting. Instead, we've got Eve over here dealing with Nico, which I don't think anybody really wants to watch. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you love Eve and Nico, leave it in the comments for me. But then we also have Villanelle, who now we're watching unravel, and some of the stuff that I enjoyed about Villanelle is watching, the crazy kills and all this. And now we've seen her have this kill where she ends up getting stabbed in the arm. Like, things are not the same for her. And now it's like, going forward, are things always going to be like this now? Or is this skill of hers now just rattled out of her?
I think Villanelle's going to turn it around. I'm worried about her, but she's very good at what she does. I think on some level she needs Eve in order to feel a little bit more whole, and that Eve understands her perhaps in a way that even her own family did not. I think when we inevitably get that second scene with Eve and Villanelle this season, we'll start to revert a little bit back more to normal with the two of them.
I will say this, though, that I was really happy to see that Eve immediately knew that this wasn't Villanelle that had done this to Nico. Straight away, she was just like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
She would never touch Nico. She's had plenty of opportunities. She hasn't. This is just bizarre to me. I don't believe it. And that's what I was hoping for.
This is the good thing about the season right now, is that while I don't like every single part of it, I don't really care for what's going on with Carolyn right now, but yeah. I think everywhere else, even with Carolyn, nobody on this show is an idiot, and everyone seems to have an idea as to kind of what could be going on around them, and a lot of them are sort of treading lightly and being careful because they don't want to put their head out there too much so that it gets metaphorically chopped off. Yeah. So I think eventually, though, we're going to get to a point where someone makes a move that is way, way too wrong, and we're going to go from having someone almost being dead like Nico to someone actually being dead like maybe Constantine, please no. But
how is Nico still alive?
I don't know, but here we go. Let's hear from the people. Why do you think Nico is still alive, and what kind of mess are we getting out of that? But anyway, let us know all of your thoughts about Season 3, Episode 6 in the comments. And if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking the link in the description to the store. And we'll see you here next time.